Lobby.
Lobby. I'm lobbying you about a new way of doing things, because if I need wings for this lobbying thing, if I want to put pressure on you and said you need to believe in everything I believe, then I just want to leave this lobby world. I want to leave this I'm persuading you to do this the way I want you to do it. I want a new kind of crew that actually says I'm listening to the way you want to do this thing. Because if you're going to have two wings, you need a left and a right. Otherwise, you don't really fly. Have you ever seen anybody flying with one wing? It's a falling thing. I want to be a rising thing. I want to be a surprising thing that says, I'm going to lobby you with a song. I'm going to lobby you with, no, you have done something wrong. But there's a new way of following along. There's a new way in between of becoming green and gold. So, I give you lobby. I'm going to sit in the lobby and chill and listen to the thrill of listening to my brother.
So it's on me to improvise on what he said about lobbying. Now, what's interesting about his angle is that he's coming from the perspective of interests. And it's interesting that interest generates interest, because he's talking about those in which he invests a lot of stake. I actually recently won a competition called The Stake, which is about interests. I'm defending those of the underprivileged classes. Now, if we're talking without glasses and looking straight into each other's eyes, with no surprise, no pretense about the lens at which we're defending our defense, I'm talking about interests that we can share. There, for lobbying doesn't have to be 4 seconds remaining. I'm not going to hear that. All I know is that it appears that we share different interests, so you need to lobby on your behalf. I mean, that's going a lot, because I don't feel like that's the issue at all. We need to come to the table and share what we have, pool our resources, and therefore we create greater opportunity. Therefore, you won't have to lobby for yours, and I won't have to lobby for mine. And I mean, you probably will mine, but I just realized that lobby rhymes with Dobby from Harry Potter, which is just completely off the tangent, and I'm speaking from my mind. So don't filter my thoughts. Understand that my interests are mine, and we can pull those together. Time.
I like the way you extemporize, take the prize outside of time and say there's something in between you and mine. There are issues that are more than tissues and tears, but there are fears out there that real people hold. As you say, the underclass that is not being classed by any helpful thing. It's a way of not being allowed to fly. It's a way of dry bones in the valley. There's no tones there to be sung. There's nobody listening to them. So in between you and I, there needs to be something that allows us to fly, that's not just about aspiring. It needs to be conspiring around the table to lobby for a brand new way of listening to those who are not listened to, of voicing the voiceless, of giving choices to the choiceless. So maybe between you and me we can make that issue real, and we can lobby about how we really feel about those who don't know how to kneel.
I mean, you're talking about issues and cares, and I like what you did, how you link that with tissues and tears, but I feel like people often misuse their fears to justify the desire to not come to the negotiating table. I think it's great that we're able to come and have a stable relationship whereby we can come and discuss our differences and reconcile them through our commonalities. And commonalities is another word for those which put us at ease. I'm trying to think of the synonym, but it's not coming to me, so I'll move on to a synonymous topic, which is that of interests shared. So we won't have to lobby if no one actually cared. We'd all defend our own, which is cool, which is the process by which we have grown. And there's 5 seconds remaining, for which I have known a long time. But I suppose I'll end on a not so strong rhyme and leave it there. Combine your thoughts with mine, please.
It's interesting how we lobby, how we feel what we feel. Is it real when we lobby? Interesting how we lobby. Is it real how we feel? Yeah, me, yeah. Interesting how we. It's interesting how we.
which is the inner me. I mean, it's a thing to see. I was just thinking, imagine if the word was mirror before any of this started. I thought I'd address the man in the mirror. I mean, Michael Jackson, I find that quite ironic because the man in the mirror is exactly that which he changed. Which you might find strange, but he understood there was no method to the madness. So he saw what he had and rearranged. I mean, I respect that. I wouldn't say I accept that or I expect that, but the man in the mirror is something which I need to combine with my interests, linking that back to the lobbying theme, which probably should leave me alone and confused, but I suppose I'm the victim of views which my home is infused.
Leaves me in the silence of new music, because I like the way he's choosing his new thoughts. He's been lobbying for a new way of thinking, and the music is drinking in a new atmosphere, and the fear has gone. I need to remember that new word. What was the word we were being asked to think of? There are so many thoughts I can't even remember what it was. It was the mirror. It's that mirror you forget because it's right in front of you and you think it's you, but it's not. It's the other one looking back at you. And the mirror, if we leave it, it gets covered in dust. And there is no justice because we're allowing this to just die slowly before us. And the decay is not the way that you play, it's the way that you say it with your heart. So we need a new start. It's not a lobbying for me or for you, it's for everybody needs to know that this is true. The dust is falling on us all. So let's listen to everybody's call. There is something in the center. There is something that is present here. So let's hear that and move on from there.
If we move on from there, then we're too strong to care. Because I feel like, who are you to tell me that the man in the mirror is not who I should be? Who are you to assess the man in the mirror full stop? I mean, the man in the mirror could be the woman in the mirror. Who actually knows? I mean, if we go back to the theme of displacement and interest, then we need to invest some time into ourselves to understand what we're really about. I mean, thinking clearly without any external influence. You said a word earlier which I really want to understand. I don't know what extemporized means, but I like the sound of that. I want that to contribute to the person I'm trying to be, the person I'm meant to be. If I can work first on my identity and make some sense of me.
From my position, I'm on a mission. This is the man that wants to know extemporize. My eyes open. He gives me a golden token and he says nothing in this round should be unspoken. This is a power word. Extemporize, ex-tempore, from the Latin. It means out of time. Let's go out of time to find out the rhyme that suits for me in this new place, because we are a brand new human race. And we want to say the mirror isn't working, but we're not shirking away from reality, because we can feel somebody is playing through us, and somebody is playing me, and somebody is finding a brand new electricity between those sounds. And I know we will find what is being looked for by all those blind people, because they can feel it in the air. To extemporize is to go out of time. We are timeless. We are not chimeless. I hear the chime of a new time playing here and now. So join me out of time.
Thanks for that definition. It's helped my position. What position? supposed to be talking about proposition, but you're then again supposed to be my opposition, so it comes back to the point of what position do I take? I mean, we're supposed to be going out of time and formulating rhymes off the top of our minds, and I appreciate the fact that you're doing that stuff with the drums, because it becomes something so organic, something which allows me to get back to the mirror, and allows me to take that back to the lobbying theme. I mean, I should probably leave it alone as I said in the last round, but then again, I can't pass down the challenge of trying to get some proposition out of this. Proposition, proper unity. What community? We forgot community. We need some proper unity from this proposition, and maybe then you will understand my position.
Your position is hands up, time to surrender, outside of time. But I love the way that you make me listen in a new way to something that I haven't been saying, because not everybody has the answer. You take a chance on the other side of me, and I remember. What am I missing? I'm missing community. I'm missing, am I really listening to you? Am I really listening to you? Am I listening to your word out there? Or am I sharing something in between the eyes? We extemporize when we're actually here on the ground, and then suddenly maybe the flyting comes from the ground, and we have our feet on the ground, but we are flying together, and suddenly maybe all these weathers count, all these hurricanes and storms, all these riots and all these worms that are taking us and shaking us and remaking the earth, and you think, hang on, everybody has a purpose, everybody has a rhyme, everybody has a place inside and outside of time. So maybe there is something in this listening that may be more than we know. Maybe we just let the music grow as you let the drums flow. The proposition is that we are out of time, but maybe other people in time will find a community that we have just touched on in a moment. Out of time.
Out of time? You must be out of your mind. Because when we talk about out of time, I feel like we're talking about out of sync. But at the time when I stop to think, I might run out of time. Whether or not I'm out of time. Do you understand what I mean? I'm not in time, I'm not in sync with, I'm not in line with what's going on, but I'm still within the time designated to me. Then again, it's the key difference between that which is ordered and manifested and that which I'm given. So you're talking about a kind of living by which we accept ourselves as timeless, but the chime is exactly that which rings profound within us, resounds within us, something I've found within us. And I appreciate what we've been able to construct out of nothing. Soon, the time will come. Soon stands for something out of nothing. I appreciate that we do that together. You guys are clever.
Propose we look in the mirror now. Can we look in the mirror now? I propose we look in the mirror now. We look in the mirror and find the time. Can we find the time? Out of the mirror we'll find our time. Out of the mirror we'll say, out of the mirror we'll
it.